Hey guys, tonight we're touching down somewhere very odd, very moist, and very musical. You drift through thick violet mist, the kind that sticks to your eyelashes and tastes faintly of cinnamon if you're careless enough to open your mouth. Far below, a glow pulses in rhythm. No, not with time, but with mood. A living city of mushroom spires awaits you, humming lullabies into the fog like a fungus-powered orchestra playing for no one in particular. This isn't a bustling galactic capital or a war-torn outpost. No blaster scars, no urgent transmissions, no misunderstood prophecies carved into asteroid walls. Just a city that grew itself slowly, happily, and with very little need for conflict or chairs. Here, the buildings sing, the streets are alive, and the locals, well, they don't exactly walk, or talk, or blink. You probably won't survive this, at least not in the conventional sense, because once you've been sung to sleep by a bioluminescent mushroom metropolis, standard pillow and blanket arrangements just won't cut it anymore. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, drop your location and what time it is where you are. I love seeing where you're all drifting off from. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The descent is slow. The air gets warmer as your ship coasts beneath the fog line, and condensation gathers on the windows in neat hexagonal patterns. Microspores, your ship's board voice announces, harmless unless you inhale 6 million in under 10 seconds. Don't do that. Below you, the city of Mycocher gently unfolds. It looks like someone overwatered a coral reef until it decided to give up on being aquatic. Shaped buildings wobble slightly in the breeze, their frilled edges vibrating just enough to produce long, low notes that echo into the mist. The sound reminds you of whale songs slowed down by a factor of 10, played through velvet. You land on something that feels like a landing pad, though it gives slightly under your weight. Spongy, warm, and alarming to consider. Faintly breathing, the ship locks into the organic mesh, and you step out onto a bridge woven from interlaced mycelium threads. It pulses gently, sensing your weight, adjusting its tautness as you walk. No one greets you. That's normal here. The city doesn't do greetings. It listens. From the ground, the structures are far more intricate. Each mushroom tower sports delicate folds and ridges that catch wind in specific ways, creating harmonics as air moves through the city. Some caps open and close slowly, shifting pitch like giant instruments tuning themselves. Others thrum with internal vibrations, their surfaces marked with fine, bioluminescent filigree. You pass under an arch made entirely of singing shelf fungi. It emits a chord that somehow manages to make your shoulders unclench and your jaw stop doing that tension thing it always does in meetings. One of the shelves flutters and releases a soft puff of shimmering spores that settle in your hair. Like glitter that respects boundaries, you wonder briefly how this place was built. The truth is, it wasn't. It grew. Each structure here is part of a single connected organism known only as Velomir. The city is one body, one mind, though it allows personalities to bloom and wither within it like seasonal flowers. Scientists still wonder if it qualifies as sentient in the way we define it. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the city isn't a mind. Maybe it's a mood. You pause beside a cap-shaped kiosk that displays softly glowing patterns. A series of soothing tones plays when you look at it, and the colors shift depending on your heart rate. No buttons. No screens. Just vibes. That's when you realize you've stopped hearing your own footsteps. The walkway beneath you has tuned itself to absorb the sound completely. Silence grows here like moss. Thick, soft, and impossible to argue with. You sit on a nearby bench. Well, not so much a bench as a large, lazy puffball that politely flattens itself for your convenience. It releases a brief chime, as if thanking you for your choice. You feel oddly cared for, like the city wants you to rest, to slow down, to sync up with its rhythm. In the distance, you notice a spire taller than the others. It leans ever so slightly, like it's listening. The base is surrounded by slow, moving creatures that resemble translucent mushrooms on tiny root feet. They shuffle, pause, and occasionally release a note into the air. Each tone floats upward, joining the city's song. You watch for a while, not because anything particularly dramatic is happening, but because nothing is. And that's rare. A soft chime echoes across the city. Dusk. The mushrooms begin to glow more brightly, their colors deepening into rich purples, blues, and sleepy oranges. The hum intensifies for a moment, then softens, like a collective exhale. You're not tired, but your body is already deciding otherwise. Something in the air, perhaps. Or the music. Or the way the city refuses to rush you. You lie back on the puffball bench. It shifts slightly to support your neck, and a faint melody plays from somewhere nearby. It's not a song you know, but it somehow feels familiar. The rhythm of slow footsteps on a soft floor. The rise and fall of your own breath. The gentle flicker of your heartbeat. You wonder how long you could stay here before the world forgets you. Whether the city would keep you, feed you soft fruit, let you dream forever. Then again, maybe that's what it wants. Not to trap you, but to teach you what quiet really sounds like. The path ahead glistens faintly under the now fully darkened sky, where the only stars visible are the slow, blinking bioluminescent caps that top the taller towers. There are no lamps here. Light comes from within. Not metaphorically, but literally. My conqueror's energy comes from the slow fermentation of its deeper roots, which, when metabolizing organic matter, produce both warmth and a soft, pulsing glow. You've never walked down a street lit by digestion before. It's oddly comforting. The walkway beneath your feet changes texture as you move. At first, it's slick and rubbery, but soon it becomes velvety, almost carpet-like. This is the city responding to your gait. It senses your step cadence, your weight distribution, even your subtle hesitations. The result is a path customized to your level of alertness. You wonder, fleetingly, if it's judging you. It probably is. Up ahead, you see the first of the glowing doors. They're not doors in the traditional sense. There are no hinges, no knobs, no locks. Instead, they are semi-translucent membranes that ripple like thick jelly. As you approach the nearest one, it hums in 3 ascending tones, like a child testing a piano for the first time. The jelly surface shivers slightly. It's asking something, or maybe inviting. You extend a tentative hand and touch the membrane. It's pleasantly cool, and it yields under your fingers like rising bread dough. The door doesn't swing open, it melts away, parting to let you pass. You step into a hollow chamber, carved entirely from the ribs of a colossal mushroom. The walls emit a faint lavender hue and pulse in time with what you quickly realize is your own heartbeat. This is a dwelling unit. Personal, private, alive. A small platform grows up from the floor as you enter, forming a seat. Another curls upward like a bookshelf, but there are no books. Only spore prints etched into delicate leaf, like sheets. They shimmer faintly when you get close, releasing the faint scent of dried oranges and ozone. Then the door reseals itself behind you. You're not locked in. You know that. Still, there's something quietly final about the way the membrane ripples once and stills. The chamber around you seems to breathe with a slow, calming rhythm. You exhale and feel the air shift subtly in response. It's not artificial climate control, it's empathy. The city doesn't watch you, not exactly. But it definitely notices. A low tone hums through the walls. It's not random. This is language. Mycocore doesn't speak in words, but in frequencies. The tone rising now is a greeting. Simple, steady, and slightly amused. You've made it this far, it seems to say. Welcome. The air grows warmer as a shallow indentation forms in the floor near your feet. Inside rests a shimmering disc, no larger than a saucer. When you touch it, the disc vibrates and projects a spiraling pattern into the air. An invitation to the next layer of the city. Beyond the domestic caps lie the Symphony spires, and you're expected there soon. But first, you decide to explore the neighborhood. The door opens again with a sighing sound that might be approval. Outside, you notice that other dwellings have begun to activate. The air is filled with faint, musical tones, each door and window emitting its own tiny thread of melody. You pass a cap-shaped home that seems to sing in descending notes, like someone gently sliding down a xylophone made of soap. Another pulses with rhythmic clicks and short, breathy chords. There are no visible inhabitants. And yet, you're not alone. From the corners of your vision, shapes shift. Tiny root-footed mycoforms shuffle between structures. Some appear to be carrying glowing spores in bubble, like sacs. Others simply sway gently, as if listening to the music of the city and providing back-up harmonies. A few pause as you walk by, emitting a single chiming note that lingers a bit longer than expected. You nod. It's the polite thing to do, and besides, you're pretty sure the city loves acknowledgement. Then you notice something stranger. The buildings themselves are adjusting their melodies based on your presence. As you pass, their tones shift just slightly, one key down, then back, like they're incorporating you into the score. You hum softly, testing the theory. Immediately, two nearby windows echo your note with perfect pitch. A cap above you flickers its light in rhythm. Congratulations, you're part of the band now. You make your way toward the tallest cluster of spires, where the air thickens with sound. The city's music grows more complex here, not louder, just deeper. The chords stretch longer, the harmonies weave tighter. The path becomes more structured, bordered by low fungal ridges that pulse in time with the ambient melody. Scientists still wonder how mycocore decides what song to sing. There's no central control, no maestro mushroom waving a baton. The prevailing theory is that it's a collective improvisation, a kind of jazz, but in slow motion and with fewer sunglasses. You arrive at the base of one of the Symphony spires just as the next shift begins. The cap above you peels open like a blooming flower, revealing a glistening surface lined with tens of thousands of vibrating filaments. Each one moves with incredible delicacy, producing tones so pure you feel them more in your chest than in your ears. A wind stirs. Not a random breeze, but a composed one, channeled between towers in calculated eddies that pass through the filaments and coax music from them. It's not just air, it's performance. A high-pitched chime signals the start of the evening's program. A dozen towers respond with cascading notes, like rainfall interpreted by a harpist. Then a slow, resonant bass begins to swell from the roots below. You place your hand against the base of the spire. The vibration is strong enough to alter your heartbeat for a moment, synchronizing it with the rhythm of the city. It's not a concert you watch. It's one you join, simply by being there. Your presence, your temperature, your heartbeat, they're all instruments now. You wonder, idly, what would happen if you sang back just one note. Maybe you will, maybe not tonight, but the city is listening. The symphony spires continue their gentle resonance as you linger. Near the base of the tallest one, the music wrapping around you like a weighted blanket that just happens to be in a perfect D minor. The vibration under your feet is no longer a novelty, it's a presence. Like a sleeping whale, enormous in content, humming its dreams into the stone and mycelium beneath. You turn slowly, absorbing the full soundscape. Up close, the structures aren't just impressive. They're alive with intention. The filaments glisten in the faint bioluminescence, stretching from cap to cap like a web of tuned harp strings. Occasionally, a gust of air will snake through, activating a fluttering harmony that cascades across the cluster like ripples on a pond of silk. No one's conducting, yet every note has purpose. You notice a spiral ramp carved directly into the base of one spire, glowing faintly green in the underlight. As you step onto it, the sound changes around you. One of the upper spires emits a short, welcoming trill, like a doorbell made of wind chimes and happy molecules. You're being invited upward. The incline is gentle, designed for slow wanderers and thoughtful ascenders. Each step you take causes a brief shimmer to dance across the wall beside you. Not light, sound. The very architecture is responding in chords, acknowledging your movement with musical affirmations. It's a stairway that sings your progress. Halfway up, you pause beside an open balcony shaped like a giant cup fungus. Inside sits a small gathering of mycoforms, those root-footed, jelly-bodied creatures you'd glimpsed before. They're nested together, pulsing softly in sync with the music, like a fungal family reunion with zero need for conversation. One of them turns, and a ripple of warm, fluty notes spills out in your direction. It's probably, hello, or, nice spores. Hard to tell. You give a little wave, and the creature responds by releasing a soft cloud of glittery mist that smells faintly of nutmeg and static electricity. You inhale slightly, and a sudden, gentle calm spreads from your sinuses to your spine. Whatever that was, your nervous system approves. Farther up, the ramp becomes narrower, and you enter a tunnel within the stalk. It's quiet here. Not silent, but hushed. The kind of sound you'd get if a pipe organ tried to whisper a lullaby. Thin threads hang from the ceiling like glowing kelp, brushing your shoulders as you walk. Every touch releases a new tone, never repeated, always fresh. It's said that no melody ever plays twice in Mycokar. The city forgets as easily as it creates. Music is not archived here, it is experienced, and then let go. A philosophy that feels slightly terrifying to anyone with a Dropbox addiction. At the top of the spire, you emerge into a chamber like a half-open flower. Petal-shaped platforms jut outward, and across them sit objects that defy categorization. Instruments, altars, mood boards. You can't tell. Each object is composed of layered organic shapes. Thick veined tubes, soft ridged drums, spiral flutes that appear to have grown themselves into perfect acoustic coils. They thrum with barely contained vibration, like they're waiting for the right touch. You approach the nearest one. It looks like a cross between a pipe organ and a jellyfish. As your hand nears it, the outer layer shifts, sensing your intent. The filaments extend, not to greet, but to tune. The moment your fingertips brush the surface, the chamber blooms with a single, resonant tone. Not just sound. Feeling. You feel it in your sternum, your wrists, behind your eyes. The tone is green. Somehow. And slightly wistful. You sit. For a moment, nothing happens. Then slowly, the chamber's petals begin to pulse inward and outward, like the slow breathing of a flower trying to remember a dream. Other tones emerge. One from behind you, another from above, one from deep beneath the floor. They converge on your frequency, harmonizing with the note you triggered. The city is playing with you now. And, quietly, you realize this is how the locals communicate. No need for words when emotion can be set to music. No need for sentences when a single tone can carry the weight of an afternoon, or a decade, or a broken promise, soothed by rain. Scientists still debate whether the fungal network has intelligence, or merely a highly evolved pattern recognition system. But if you sit in this chamber long enough, you start to feel less like an observer and more like an ingredient in the recipe of this moment. You exhale slowly, and the note changes. The city sighs with you. Below, through gaps in the petals, you glimpse the rest of Mycocore Illuminar, illuminated under the pulsing breath of night. The buildings shimmer in time, casting rainbow reflections onto the fog. Somewhere, a cap releases a burst of luminous spores that drift into the sky, briefly mistaken for stars by a passing ship that has no idea what it's missing. And there, at the edge of the visible district, you notice something strange. A structure unlike the rest, angular, rigid, almost metallic in form. It doesn't sing. It doesn't glow. It waits. You file it away for later. For now, the air here smells of damp moss and contentment. A familiar chord thrums in your chest again. The instrument before you retracts its filaments gently, signaling the session's end. You rise and leave the chamber without speaking. What would be the point? Down the spiral ramp again, into the richer layers of harmony, the city's main pulse now, slower, lower, guiding residents toward their resting rhythms. You walk with it, or maybe it walks with you. Either way, you've never felt more part of something you don't understand. As you descend from the symphony spires, the melodies soften into a gentle hum, blending with the subtle rustle of Mycocore's towering fungal flora. The air feels thick and alive, filled with spores that shimmer faintly in the dim light, like tiny stars caught in slow motion. Each breath you take is sweet with earthy musk and a hint of something floral, impossible to name. You follow a winding path lined with slender, translucent stalks that pulse faintly, casting prismatic shadows over the ground. Here, in the lower district, the city's song shifts. It's more about texture than tone, a delicate layering of quiet clicks, rustles, and whispers that wrap around you like a soft blanket. Moving through this part of Mycocore, you notice the presence of the spindlefolk. Those slender, tendril-limbed beings who make their homes nestled within the fungal structures. They are unlike anything you've seen. Their skin is mottled with tiny spore-like nodules that glow softly, and their eyes resemble clusters of reflective crystals. The spindlefolk don't speak in words, of course. Instead, they communicate through subtle changes in the color and pattern of their spore nodules, combined with gentle pulses that resonate in the air. As you approach, one of them extends a tendril, releasing a faint vibration that tickles your fingertips, a greeting in their quiet language. You attempt to mimic the pulse, and a soft, harmonious chime responds. It's a simple exchange, but it feels profound. In this place, communication isn't just verbal, it's a shared experience, a blend of sound, color, and emotion. Nearby, a group of spindlefolk gathers around a large, luminescent fungus known as the dreamcap. Legend says this particular mushroom induces vivid, shared dreams among those who rest beneath its canopy. You wonder if the dreamcap's influence explains the communal sense of calm that blankets this district. As you walk, you observe the dreamcap releasing tiny spores into the air, drifting lazily like snowflakes. These spores seem to interact with the city's music, adding a subtle, ethereal undertone to the ambient melodies. Yes, scientists still wonder if the dreamcap's spores can influence consciousness, or if they simply create a mild sedative effect. Whatever the case, you feel your thoughts slow, your mind drifting toward a state of gentle reverie. Ahead, you come across a small clearing or sort where the spindlefolk have arranged an array of crystalline instruments. They produce sounds by vibrating their spore nodules, creating a complex, layered harmony that blends perfectly with the surrounding fungal music. You sit quietly, allowing the music to wash over you. The rhythms are unpredictable yet soothing, like a conversation between the city and its inhabitants. The spindlefolk's delicate tones intertwine with the city's melodies, forming a seamless tapestry of sound. The sky above Mykochor is a deep, velvety black, dotted with the soft glow of bioluminescent spores drifting upwards. You lie back on a soft patch of moss, feeling the gentle vibration of the city beneath you, the music weaving itself into your very being. You wonder if Mykochor's music is a form of memory, a living archive of every creature, every moment, every breath taken within its bounds. If so, then you are now part of its story, your presence woven into the endless song. As your eyelids grow heavy, the spindlefolk's music fades into a whisper, a lullaby carried on the spores floating gently through the air. You smile, realizing you're exactly where you need to be. The morning in Mykochor arrives not with the sun, but with a slow, symphonic shift in the city's vibrations. The bioluminescent caps dim, surrendering their nightly glow to the soft pulses of dawn's awakening music. You rise from your mossy spot, your body still humming in tune with the city's heartbeat. The air is cooler now, tinged with the scent of damp earth and fresh spores, a natural incense that seems to clear the mind while soothing the soul. As you wander toward the city's central basin, you pass through a grove of towering fungal columns. Each column, like a living bell tower, resonates gently with the subtle breeze. A chorus of shimmering notes into the humid air. This is the heart of Mykochor's morning ritual. A daily, awakening concert performed without conductors or scripts, relying solely on the collective energy of the city and its inhabitants. Here, you encounter a gathering of the Mykoran, a species of sentient plant-like beings whose bodies are interwoven with tendrils and fungal threads. Their appearance is at once alien and beautiful. Limbs that branch like delicate saplings, skin patterned with iridescent spores, and eyes that gleam with ancient wisdom. They move gracefully, weaving through the columns as they add their voices. Soft clicks, murmurs and musical pulses to the awakening symphony. One Mykoran approaches, its tendrils extending to brush your arm lightly. The contact sends a wave of warmth and calm through you, as if the city itself is sharing a gentle greeting. The Mykoran's eyes flash softly with colors that seem to speak volumes without uttering a single word. The morning ritual isn't just a performance. It's a communal meditation, a way for the city's inhabitants to align their thoughts, emotions, and energies for the day ahead. As you stand among them, you begin to sense how deeply connected everything is. The plants, The fungi, the creatures, and even the air itself. Scientists still debate the extent of consciousness in Mycoker's ecosystem. Is it a single, sprawling mind, or an intricate network of independent but interdependent intelligences? Whatever the answer, you feel privileged to witness a fragment of its harmony. Your path leads you to a shallow pool nestled among the columns, its surface smooth and mirror-like. The water is tinted with a faint violet hue, infused with spore particles that float lazily beneath the surface. When you dip your fingers in, the pool responds with gentle ripples that emit soft, bell-like tones. Nearby, a small group of mycorrhizae is engaged in what looks like a ritualistic cleansing. They submerge their limbs in the pool, absorbing its spores and releasing bursts of musical notes that blend seamlessly with the pool's own sounds. The effect is mesmerizing, a slow, undulating melody that soothes your mind and calms your breathing. You take a seat on a nearby stone that hums faintly with the city's energy. Closing your eyes, you let the morning symphony wash over you. The soundscape shifts and evolves, creating an immersive experience that blurs the line between listener and performer. It's easy to forget, here, that you're a visitor in a world so unlike your own, yet the gentle humor of Mycoker reveals itself in unexpected moments, like the way a particular column emits a quirky, slightly off, key trill when tickled by the breeze, or the subtle, playful pulses sent by the spindlefolk when they catch you humming along. You wonder how long the city has been composing its endless music. What ancient spores first learned to sing, and what dreams are woven into these melodies, carried beneath the surface for centuries. As the ritual draws to a close, the mycorrhizae disperse, their forms dissolving back into the city's living web. You rise, feeling a deep sense of peace and connection, ready to explore the next chapter of Mycoker's story. You follow the flinked trail of glittering spores, winding away from the central basin into a dense grove of towering fungus that seem less city and more ancient forest. Here, the air feels cooler, thick with the scent of damp wood, and something vaguely reminiscent of vanilla custard. The spores drifting lazily in the light-form hazy halos that catch your eye every few steps. This area is home to the Sporites, the mycelial artisans of Mycoker. Unlike the musical spindlefolk, or the plant-like mycorrhizae, the Sporites are small, insectile creatures with translucent, chitinous shells dusted in fine, powdery spores. Their delicate legs tap rhythmically against the fleshy stalks as they work. You watch in quiet fascination as they manipulate strands of living mycelium, weaving and knotting them into intricate patterns that glow faintly. Each woven spore thread functions like a tuning fork, capable of producing unique harmonic frequencies. The Sporites create these sonic tapestries, not just for beauty but for function. These textiles are used to enhance the city's ambient melodies and amplify the fungal network's signals. In essence, they are the weavers of Mycoker's acoustic fabric. As you sit quietly, a curious sporite approaches and offers you a thin, glowing filament. You accept, and the moment your fingers brush it, a warm, low hum resonates, vibrating gently through your bones. It's like holding a tiny heartbeat, fragile and steady. You wonder what secrets this small piece of woven music carries. Scientists still debate how the Sporites' weaving skills evolved. Did they arise from symbiosis or independent innovation? And how much of the city's music depends on these tiny artisans? You watch as the Sporites continue their delicate dance, each movement choreographed in perfect rhythm with the city's song. The harmony between creature and city is so complete it feels almost sacred. As twilight settles over the grove, the glowing tapestries shimmer brighter, casting undulating patterns of light and sound across the forest floor. You lean back, enveloped in a cocoon of soothing vibrations and colors. Leaving the Sporites grove behind, you enter the Dreamwave Plaza, a vast open space surrounded by giant, luminescent fungal caps that arch overhead like cathedral vaults. Here, the atmosphere shifts again, becoming lighter, almost playful. Soft, bell-like tones ring out from strange instruments embedded in the caps above, as if the city is waking up with a smile. This is the social heart of Mycocor, where residents gather to share stories, dreams, and gentle laughter. Among the usual inhabitants, you spot several curious creatures, the skittermus, tiny spider-like entities covered in mossy fluff, darting between legs and stems, their movements almost choreographed to the ambient music. You're soon approached by a skittermoss, who projects a series of melodious clicks and whistles, an invitation to join the local ritual of sharing. This tradition involves exchanging short, melodic phrases that represent memories or emotions. You hum a simple tune in return, and the skittermoss replies with a trill that seems to convey surprise and delight. It's a gentle, humorous exchange, reminding you that even in such alien cultures, connection and joy are universal. The city's music here is more rhythmic, almost like a pulse, encouraging gentle movement and engagement. The Mycorin and Spindlefolk join in, layering their own melodies over the skittermoss's rapid fire sequences. Together, they create an evolving tapestry of sound that is at once ephemeral and deeply rooted in community. You wonder what kind of inside jokes or playful secrets might be hidden within these musical conversations. Scientists have long speculated about whether Mycocor's inhabitants experience humor, or if what sounds like laughter is actually a form of bonding through vibration. As dusk deepens, the plaza fills with soft glowing spores that drift lazily, twirling like dancers in slow motion. The city seems to exhale contentedly, inviting you to stay and listen a little longer. Venturing further, you reach the edge of Mycocor, where the fungal city blends into the alien wilderness of the planet's bioluminescent forest. Here, strange, sentient plants stretch towards the sky, their leaves shimmering with faint light and their roots intertwined with Mycocor's mycelial network. These are the Luminara, towering plant beings who communicate through pulses of light traveling along their veins. They are slow, deliberate, and ancient, living records of planetary history in their bark and sap. Meeting them feels like stepping into a library where every leaf holds a story. You observe a Luminara sharing light base signals with the Spindlefolk nearby, across species conversation bridging sound and color. The luminous pulses correspond with the city's music, creating a rich multisensory dialogue. Scientists still wonder how the Luminara interpret time. Does their slow, deliberate blinking measure minutes, hours, or centuries? And how much of Mycocor's history is encoded in these light patterns? You sit beneath a great Luminara, its branches forming a natural canopy. As spores from the city's fungi drift gently through the air, they mix with the Luminara's glow, creating a dreamy spectacle of floating lights. Your eyelids grow heavy in the peaceful atmosphere. A nearby Spindlefolk hums a soft tune that blends perfectly with the Luminara's pulses. A lullaby, not just for you but for the entire forest city hybrid. Back inside Mycocor's core, you find yourself in the Whispering Galleries. Narrow corridors carved through thick fungal tissue. Here, the walls resonate softly with the memories of past melodies, echoing faintly like a distant, forgotten song. These galleries act as the city's archive, where music and memory intertwine. Along the walls hang crystalline growths that store sound vibrations, slowly releasing them back into the air over centuries. Walking through feels like wandering inside a living music box, each step releasing delicate notes that swirl around you. The locals treat the galleries as sacred spaces. Spindlefolk often gather here for silent meditation, their bodies pulsing softly in tune with the echoes. You sit against the warm fungal wall, closing your eyes and letting the gentle cacophony wash over you. There's a peculiar, almost humorous quirk to the galleries, a section where notes sometimes misfire, producing whimsical, off-key chimes that sound like the city itself is clearing its throat awkwardly. The locals call this phenomenon the sneeze, a reminder that even ancient living cities can have a bad day. Scientists remain puzzled about how the crystalline structures store and reproduce sound with such fidelity. Is this a form of biological memory or a unique acoustic phenomenon? As you wander, you imagine the countless stories encoded here, the joys, fears, and dreams of Mycoker's past inhabitants reverberating through time. You step outside again, into a quiet district known as the Ring Gardens, circular terraces covered in delicate fungal blooms, arranged in spirals that seem to mimic the planet's own rings visible in the night sky. Each ring vibrates at a slightly different frequency, creating a layered musical effect that's hypnotic and deeply relaxing. Here, you meet the helioforms, sun-loving creatures whose translucent skin glows faintly with absorbed light. They move slowly, their elongated limbs creating gentle waves as they dance through the gardens. Their movements generate subtle shifts in the fungi, causing the blooms to emit soft, bell-like tones. The helioforms practice a daily ritual of solar singing, using their bodies to channel the light and sound of their environment into meditative harmonies. You watch, fascinated, as one begins a slow, humming chant that merges seamlessly with the garden's natural symphony. Scientists are still intrigued by the helioforms' unique physiology. Their skin acts as a living solar panel, converting light into energy and even influencing the local fungal music. The interplay of light, movement, and sound here is a delicate balance, constantly adapting to planetary cycles. You realize that every corner of Mycoker pulses with life in its own unique rhythm, all connected through the city's vast mycelial network. Returning to the city's center, you encounter the enigmatic resonance chamber, a colossal dome formed from intertwined fungal caps and crystalline growths. The chamber amplifies the city's music to a grandeur rarely experienced elsewhere. Inside, you find the ancient prophets, massive, slow, moving beings whose bodies are covered in resonant nodules. They act as living amplifiers, their pulsations controlling the chamber's vast acoustics. Their presence is calming, almost like a heartbeat for the city itself. You notice the prophets communicate by altering their nodules, vibration patterns, which ripple through the chamber and merge with the fungal acoustics. The effect is a breathtaking, immersive symphony that seems to wrap around you like a warm, familiar blanket. Scientists debate whether the prophets possess sentience or are biological extensions of the city's network. Observing them, you feel the boundary between creature and habitat blur. There's a quiet joke among the locals. When the prophets hum too loudly, it sounds like a giant clearing its throat before a speech. A reminder that even the city's giants have moments of awkwardness. As you sit in the chamber, the music slows, preparing the city for its nightly rest cycle. The twilight deepens as you drift toward the city's edge, where the spores release a soft, phosphorescent glow, illuminating the pathways like natural lanterns. Here, you find the luminoids, tiny, jelly-like creatures who float gently above the ground, leaving trails of sparkling light in their wake. Luminoids communicate through bursts of color and gentle pulses of light, creating a silent conversation that dances across the night. Watching them feels like witnessing a living light show choreographed by the city's own heartbeat. You follow a cluster of luminoids as they lead you to the spore pools. Shallow, iridescent ponds where spores accumulate and interact with the water, creating delicate sound waves. The pools resonate softly, their music mingling with the luminoid's light to form an enchanting nighttime symphony. Scientists speculate that these pools help regulate the city's energy flow, acting as biological capacitors that store and release sonic energy. You sit by the pool, mesmerized as the colors and sounds weave together, creating a perfect lullaby for the city and its dreamers. Continuing your exploration, you arrive at the Gallery of Echoes, a vast, hollow, fungal structure designed to capture and replay the city's most cherished sounds. The gallery's walls are layered with delicate fungal membranes that vibrate with recorded melodies from countless generations. Visitors enter in silence, allowing the gallery's accumulated music to envelop them. You feel waves of familiar and unfamiliar tones wash over you, some playful, others somber. A full spectrum of emotion rendered in sound. Among the most treasured echoes are the laughter-like chimes of the spindlefolk and the slow, deep pulses of the mycorrhin. These sounds blend into an immersive narrative, a living history told not in words, but in music and mood. Scientists still ponder the gallery's remarkable acoustic fidelity. How do these fungal membranes preserve sound so perfectly over centuries? The mystery remains one of Mykokar's most fascinating enigmas. As the gallery's music fades, you feel a deep sense of connection, not just to the city, but to the vast, ancient web of life it represents. You find yourself in the Garden of Slumber, a tranquil enclave where Mykokar's inhabitants prepare for rest. Giant, pillow-like fungal cushions release calming spores that induce restful sleep. The air here is thick with gentle fragrances reminiscent of vanilla, sandalwood, and fresh rain. Residents gather in small groups, exchanging soft melodies and sharing dreams through musical vibrations. This ritual, known as the sleep song, helps synchronize the city's rhythms and fosters a communal sense of peace. You recline on one of the cushions, feeling its soft embrace as spores gently drift over you. The music here is slow and steady, like a heartbeat lulling you deeper into relaxation. Scientists remain intrigued by the sleep song's power. Could it hold clues to new treatments for human sleep disorders? The possibilities seem as endless as Mykokar's melodies. As your eyelids grow heavy, the city's song softens, wrapping you in a cocoon of warmth and quiet. As the final notes of the sleep song fade into silence, you find yourself drifting in a gentle twilight between wakefulness and dreams. The city has slowed its rhythm to a whisper, the bioluminescent caps dim to soft glows. The mycelial network pulses faintly beneath you, like a quiet, breathing presence. You reflect on the harmony of Mykokar, the intertwining of sound, light, and life that creates a living, breathing city unlike any other. Its music is a constant, gentle companion, a lullaby that cradles the planet itself. You wonder what dreams the city might have. Do the spores dream in melody? Does the network hum softly in its sleep? Scientists still ask these questions, but the answers seem less important than the experience itself. As you drift towards sleep, you carry with you the gentle humor of the spindlefolk, the patient wisdom of the mycoran, and the radiant light of the luminoids. Mycoker's music will follow you into dreams, a soft soundtrack to your rest. The music of Mycokar fades gently, like a slow breath leaving your lungs. The vibrant pulses dim into a soft, steady glow, wrapping around you like a warm, familiar blanket. You feel your body grow heavier, your thoughts quieter, as if the city itself is whispering a lullaby meant only for you. Each sound, each light, each gentle vibration has led you deeper into calm, into a space where worries dissolve and peace takes hold. Imagine the spores drifting lazily through the air, carrying your dreams on their delicate wings to places you've never been. The city's slow pulse syncs with your heartbeat, inviting your mind to wander softly, freely. There's no rush here, no urgency, only the timeless music of a world that moves in perfect harmony. Let your breathing slow. Feel the gentle hum beneath your skin, the coolness of the air, the faint scent of earth and light. My coacher is here with you, a constant companion in this quiet moment between waking and sleep. Now, as your eyelids flutter closed, let yourself drift on the city's melody. Sweet dreams await, carried by the spores, and the song of a world that sings just for you. End of script. Sweet dreams.